Good morning, guys, and I'm gonna try to do a video today. I may have some coughing in between, but we'll see what I can do. Nothing fancy. I have, as you noticed in the past videos, have had to work on some books by myself because I didn't have you guys to do that with me. And so I did the more simple things on with music. And so I'm working on some traveler's notebooks. I haven't made one in a long time. So I thought, since we have traveler's notebooks are great for Valentine's Day and love and messages of love and gratefulness and things you feel blessed about. So I did a couple, and they're themed in pink and some reds and whatever other color we end up deciding to use. Now, they are not, because the cover's so white. And let me show you the cover. This is like a big doily that wraps around. And then this is some trim that I had that wraps around, and some more trim. And I used a contrasting color by this inside the paper here is like a kind of a marbly look to the paper. Let me show you. See, you can kind of see. It kind of has a marble of blackish gray charcoal. So I didn't use a true black, but I used kind of a blue black as far as trimming out this traveler's notebook. It is an insert, so it will fit right into your books. It's 8.5 by 4.5. And on this, I had done some snippet rolls or whatever, and I have been wanting to use them and hadn't used them, so I thought they'd look really cute here on the edge of this one. And you can see the marble effect here better on this one. So really, I just did that, and then I put in a, it's by, let me see, and I can tell you whose digital I'm using. Give me just a second. It's Elsie Bell's Bookshelf. Elsie Bell's Bookshelf is the digital that I'm using. As you can see inside, I just left the stitching because it had a pink paper. And so you can decide whether or not you want to cover that, or we may cover part of it. And then this is a digital, one of her digitals that is adorable. So I didn't add a whole lot more to it because there was quite a few of them. But I did add some different size papers, like I like to do. And I stuck with, this is avocado inked paper that I got from Carol's place. And let me see, and I can tell you who Carol is. I don't have it right in front of me, but I know where it's at. It's Caroline Creates. So take a screenshot if you want to run over and get some of her avocado paper. She's got envelopes and different things, and I'm sure she takes custom orders too. Just tell her that Paula sent you. Excuse me. Okay. And this is just an envelope that I'm going to put in here somewhere. I just liked that the colors really went well. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. But we're still looking at the digital. And you can see here, everything's going to be kind of white. There is going to be some tea stain paper in it. I got some very light tea stain paper to put in it. But it's not going to be the focus. Okay, it's just going to be a few little things because there's a lot of journaling space. And we're not going to be inking in this book because it just has this white feel to it. And this is another avocado stained doily here. And yeah, and that's the center. So cute digital, very cute digital. And we've got a few little things to go along with it. I've made a few pockets to go along with it. But now, I also did I did one of my fold outs, you know, that you glue in like this and flip out. Okay, and those need to be stitched on the machine, but we'll do that later. Those aren't anything I'm in a hurry for. So I'm going to divide up what we've got here amongst these two. And as far as pockets, I just cut out several pockets and thought with what scraps I had left over, and I had a couple cute little bird papers. So I thought, since we have kind of a bird thing going on with the bird paper, I could use that. And then I did just some plain ones. Now I'm going to put these one to each page here, because you know that's kind of how it's going to turn out. And here's some cute little bird ones as well. And so I'm putting one pocket per. Here we've got a pink one, and here we've got another marble one. And then I guess I need to make another one of these, but we'll work on that later. It's not critical. And then we've got a couple cute little pockets from some other digital thing I had. We got a couple glassine bags with little tiny flowers. We've got a couple cards with pink florals. They're postcards. Okay, those are going there. And we've got some of my different little doilies that I've made. This is a handkerchief that I stitched into a journaling card, so let's put it on that one. And actually I have two of all of these, I believe. Let me see. Kind of laid out enough, I'll put it that way. Here is another handkerchief, and it has like a pocket here. So it can be put on here in such a way that it will work like that. And then I have this little girl. I thought we could put her in here somewhere. I've had her for a long time on decoupage. And then we have a couple of these, a lavender covered in handkerchief, or it may have been a embroidery doily. And then I got a couple of these cute little tulips, which would be cute. So you can, we'll use those as a, and then here's a couple things that I had laying around from the other little kit I was telling you about. Just has some cute florals and stuff. And yeah, so there you go. Now, this ought to keep us busy. Oh, and then here's a few more of these. You know, we've got a few more of these cute little cards that just, I thought, well, we could stick them on something, right? Okay, now let's kind of work on one at a time. You want to do that? And so let's just do this one first. Now, I am going to do some stenciling on, now there's other things that can go in this kit. These, not kit, it's not a kit. I'm making it. So there are a few more things that we can do, but I thought we would stencil in some. I've got some other goodies to go into this as well in my little box up here, but we'll save those. They're more decorative type things. But the first thing we want to do is start loading this. I'm not going to bind it in until I know for sure. Let me see if I've got some library pockets that could be ready to use. There's one. Trying to use up some of these that I've had that are kind of decorative, you know. I've been wanting to get rid of them. So I found one for each of them, so we'll do that. And we could decorate them in any way we'd like. I mean, you know, there's a lot of, this has gray on it, and it's kind of gray, so that works out great. Okay, so let's kind of look at decorating the front of this. And it says, love this moment, which is perfect for this book. Now, I've thought about what do we want? Do we want to ink the things inside the book? And we needed to come up with a color that would work for, let's say, I'm trying to find a piece of paper here that's extra. Oh my goodness. This is kind of a pinkish color, which I do like that. Why don't we try this? This is a Tim Holtz Distressing Victoria Velvet. So let's just try that to be what we ink our pockets and so forth with. Okay. I like the looks of that, so that will work. But we need to get a dauber, and we need to get a new sponge for that dauber. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, there's a dauber. There's a sponge, I mean, right here on the back. Saved by the sponge. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm so out of practice of doing a video. At least I feel that way. Now, I'm going to set this cover off to the side so it doesn't get filthy while we decorate the inside of this one. And I figure after we get everything in like we want, in this book like we want, then we can go back and do some stenciling. So I'm hoping everything is the right height. I may have to trim some things. Like I can see that this is a little tall, but that's all right for right now. Now, yeah, this has a pretty nest on it. It's just really a pretty book, a pretty digital that I found quite a while ago, and I've been saving it to do it like a Valentine style. This is not just for Valentine's. It could be for anything, but it will work for Valentine's. I'll put it that way. Okay, so let's start. Well, now I did want to decorate this inside cover, so let's do that first. Okay, I want to decorate this inside cover with this pocket. So let's go ahead and ink it and use a little bit of this pink velvet. It's velvet, Victorian velvet. Well, that works with a shabby chic looking pocket, right? Now, if you want to cover this in another color, you can. Okay. It's a gloomy, rainy day here. Oh my goodness, I could do without that gloomy, rainy day. I don't know about you guys, but I can only take so much of that. This is a really light pink. So when it's kind of mixed in with a color that's darker, it's harder to see. This has a little bit of tea stain on it. I didn't worry about getting things that were tea stained. All right, so there we go. We've got those two parts done. And I'm thinking I really love this mystical looking background right here. I'm thinking, do I want to put that on there, but trim off some of it? A little bit more. I don't have quite enough trimmed off. I want it to be right underneath. It would help if it was a little straighter too, wouldn't it? Hopefully we don't have this whole battle of being straight. You know, sometimes you'll cut cut and cut till you don't have anything left. That's what trimmers are made for. Okay, that one's going to work. Okay, so I'm going to ink this. And you can see that pink on there. It's really pretty. Okay, that's pretty. Now, we're going to also, during this whole thing, I want to do some, I want to add some doilies and add some pieces of stuff, you know, that will trim out without any problems. I'm going to set this up where I can get to it. Now, we want to put something behind that little guy. And I have several different things here. Got to remember that we don't have to use the same stuff underneath that's on the front of the book. It can be any kind of trim out you want. Like, look at this little edging that I just looks like I used the other part of. See, I think that would be cute on there somehow. It's more of a fuchsia, but that's okay. I really wanted it to be a solid piece. So I don't know if this will work or not. I guess we could kind of trim it a little bit and see if it will fit right there. Give me just a second to try to figure this out. We could put the trim along like that, and if we wanted to, we could add some more along here. Now, we don't need this little innard piece here. It'll be covered up anyway, and we don't want to overlap the other side, right? But I like the way the corners are on these. Now, this one obviously will not have a corner because it missed out. No, it just actually because we don't have enough corner. Okay, so we could pull that in like that. And let's just see what that looks like. And we have to remember that we don't want it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Everyone would like it to probably be perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah. It's not doing exactly like I want it to. I may have to lose the love this moment thing, because I really like it having some color on both sides like that. And see, it looks like it was on purpose. We trimmed part of it for one side and trimmed part of it for the other side. Now in the middle, we'll have to put some kind of filler in there. Let me see what we got that's probably stained or something really that needs to go in the middle. Or some scraps or something like that. Like here's some scraps. I have to glue them down though, right? Okay. It's not really what I had in mind either. I want it like just a square piece to drop, or a heavier piece like this to just drop down in there. Okay. Get some glue out here. The fun thing about decorating these kind of things is you never know what you're going to do till you sit down to do it. At least I don't. I'm going to go ahead and glue these down and hope that I get them in the right spot. You know what I mean? Let's put a little glue right there too, just to be on the safe side. I'm going to kind of let it hang off down here, because we'll be attaching it to the inside of the book. I hope you guys have been doing good. I feel like I haven't got to interact with any of you. Welcome to all the new subbies. I haven't got to tell you guys that. I'm so glad. It's been kind of slow because I haven't been on here, honestly, because I have been so sick. But hopefully things are looking up. I did find out one of the reasons I was so sick was not just because I get a wipey here. Not just because I was, I had the yuckiness, the sinus infection, and that went into everything else. I also am I'm really, really depleted as far as my iron and B12 go. So I've got to deal with that now. I've got to have a shot every week for 4 months and take B12, zinc, and iron every day. Okay, let me find my little... Of course I got glue everywhere. Of course I did. But we're going to glue this down, so this won't matter. So I don't know why I'm even worrying about it. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to let it go. Get it off of me, and that's it. Okay, so we're going to put our little card on here with this little deer. He looks cute on there, doesn't he? He's still got some emptiness under him. Let's see if we can't kind of fill that in a little bit. Let me see. He's all right there. He just needs some up under here. So we'll just add some glue and stick something under there. Let's see if this helps. That's better. All right. So now we just need to glue him down, and we will be headed in the right direction. Maybe to get this thing finished, right? We won't get it all finished today. We'll have to probably do another video because we have 2 books that we're working on. I'm not necessarily concerned that they're just alike. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, I like that, don't you? Now, one thing I want to do is grab our card out. And I'm thinking maybe, since our little card goes down in here, and that's where you write, you know, whatever you want to write about your book, or about the time. I have this little piece of trim left. I'm just going to add it right here to this corner. Feels like the right place to put it. There's no perfect reason. It's just that I like the way it looks. Yeah, there we go. So now I want us to add this. Let me make sure it's not sticky. I want us to add this right in here. Thinking right there. Now, you could add behind there, you could add, you could leave it where you have an extra tuck or pocket. But we're going to have plenty of those in this book, so I don't see any sense in putting hidden ones. Okay, let's get this on here like that. Make sure we don't have anything hopefully seeping out. It's kind of hard to control, as you know. Okay, I'm going to put it right here. Just trying to center it. So since I don't have a whole lot to tell you, since I've been sick, there's really not been a lot going on other than I've been going through a lot of my Etsy, a lot of stuff I've been wanting to put in my Etsy shop. And you guys can go over there anytime. Things will go up every day for a while. I can't possibly get them all up at once. And so you may have a day or two where there's nothing that goes up, and then other days, you know, like I'm putting up the old, the book that we did together, Cook to Collage. I'm putting up a lot of the design team projects that I just never sewed or did anything with, but I just don't have room to keep all my favorite things. So some of our file folder projects also, one of them's Christmas and one of them's not. So, okay, I think we got this down. And over here on this side, I'm wanting to do something. I don't want the preference on here. I don't know. I just don't like it on there. So I'm thinking if we could put something on here, maybe. Well, let's see if we have another butterfly or a label or something here. We do have some butterflies. We have a blue butterfly, but it's just not big enough. So I'm thinking we also have these cute little labels, which I like. So let's ink these little labels up. And we can add anything to a label. We can make it into like a cluster if we want to, or we can leave it as a label. Okay, but I just don't like that. You know, we could take the butterfly that mimics this one and put it on the outside so that it looks dimensional. We'll do that. We could even pop it up if we wanted to a little. Okay. Now let's go ahead and glue this down. All right. You could even title your book if you want to give your book a title. This would be a good place to do that, right here. So we inked up this little butterfly. Now what I'm thinking is that we could put some pop dots behind him also. Run a little bit of ink right, or not ink, but glue right down the middle. And glue just that portion down. And you'll notice that it will go right there, and you can't even tell that you're on top of another butterfly because it's just like that butterfly. But I'm going to pop out a couple tiny little pop dots, and see if I can get them open here. Looks like they haven't been opened. Okay. I'm just going to put a little dot on each side, underneath, I'm going to try to put it where you can't see it. Man, these little things are stuck together. Let's see if I can get them apart. Yep, there they go. Mercy. Because I want these little tiny ones. Okay, and you want it to be sticky on both sides. And then you do it like that. And see, it will stay up now. Now, if you look for it underneath, you'll be able to see it. The pop dot, that is. But you have to work at it. Okay. There we go. Just gives it a little bit of height. For some reason, this is a rounded corner. That's not. I don't know why they did it like that. But if you look at the paper, it's the same way. How about we round this one just a tiny bit? Not a lot, but just a little bit so it doesn't look so odd. Watch me chop it off and not have it where I want it at all. That's a little better. That way they kind of look like they go together, right? Lord knows we need them to look as much alike as possible. Now, I'm going to clean up this little bit of a mess I've got right here to the right of me, so we can work on with something else. Okay, so we've got that as page 1. And that works, so we can go through the inside here. I thought we would put a pocket here on the inside. Maybe we can do this little colorful guy. Since we've got some green in his body and it goes next to this ledger paper. Now I'm going to ink the edges. And I don't necessarily have anything for the inside of the pockets. We'll have to do that at another point. We'll have to collage or make some pockets. Or tags, I mean. Okay, so that works out nice. Let's get some glue going here. Now, some things we will go back and do like a stencil on some pages that look like they need it. Okay, so we're going to glue this down. Let me see if I've got something I can put under here that can be a little bit stiff. Make it easier to glue. There we go. It's too lumpy, in other words. Perfect. Let me take this lumpy back and lay it to the side. I don't want it to get dirty. We talked about that already. Okay, so that glued down great. Now, let's see. Each of these little pages just has a story to tell. They're so cute. And they'll be great journaling pages. So I have got to be real picky about where I put what, because I think they'll look really cute. This would be cute with something taped down on it. This would be a nice place to put something colorful. But I'm thinking I've got a couple. I thought this would make a great tuck spot. because it's the size it is. And then I've also got this little girl that's got this file folder, which would be a great tuck spot too. Let's see what else we've got here in the kit. We've got lots of tags, so we don't have to worry about that. But I'm thinking we can use any of these journaling cards as pockets also, if we should decide to. Or some of these small postcards as pockets. They're all cute. I saw one in here that I thought would be cute as a pocket. I gotta find it now. Let's just see what that will look like. Maybe not use this big one yet. See, we can do some straight across little pockets too, which I love that about doing the little traveler's notebooks, because we can do that. We can put as many pockets in it as we want. And really the flat pockets carry things better. They hold them in. They end up looking better in the long run. So let's just put this one right here. And you want to remember just as little bit of glue as you can just along the strip. And try to keep it as straight as possible. Don't do what I say. Do what I say. Don't do what I do. Because I'm never straight. Hopefully you're younger and you can hit the straight zone. So I'm going to put it as far to the left of the outside of the page as I can. That way we know it's got plenty of room. I'm not real social today, guys, because I'm trying not to talk and get myself all hoarse any more than necessary. It seems that the more I talk, the hoarser I get. At least that's been what's happening the last week or so. Or I start that crazy coughing. Oh, you know how that is. Okay, so now we're going to flip over here and see where we want to add something else. I like this little bird right here. Let's add something right here with birds. Let's see what we've got. So we've got this pocket, or we have this pocket. I really want to put some of the pockets. Sorry, I think I just hit my camera. I really want to put some of the pockets on the other side too. Okay, so let's see how many pockets we've got. 3. So we've already put 1 with the flat one. 2. We've only put 2 over here. Okay, so we're good. Put 1 more. Let's put this one, the birds, because it's singing along with him. This is an Artie Mae style pocket. She does her pockets like this, where she goes down and you don't glue, you glue just across the bottom of here. So it's flat on the bottom and open more on the top, which I like them. Just put a little strip right there. Make sure you don't have any more than you plan on. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Maybe we can put on this side. How about we put the large coin pocket? Now I'm going to show you how to make these large coin pockets. Now we're not going to make them with the flap on the top. We're going to make them where you can just slide like a big tag down inside. Basically, this is it. Okay. I'm going to show you how I cut it. It was a regular size, copy sheet, copy paper, which I had tea stained. And so this one part out here got cut off. So you just measure, you just want it to be 8, I'm tearing my book apart here. Let me move it out of the way. You just want it to be 8. Let me see if you can see down here. Okay, I'm going to try to measure real fast down here. 8 1/4 or just thereabouts, maybe just a hair more. And you want to fold it where you have the two sides overlap each other. But before you do that, you take and score right here at the bottom. And then you cut out this section and this section. Then I fold it like this and curve the sides so that my little flap that flaps up here at the bottom has a little rounded edge. So it will end up like that. So let's glue that together and then we'll ink it. So you kind of got to decide which side needs the, and you want to make it probably a little bit wider than I did if you can, because I just barely gave it enough room to put glue on here. So in other words, just make it a little bit not as wide as this one is. Yeah, and I'm going to have a little bit of glue to clean up like I always do. You can see it kind of seep through right here. So if you just, while it's still wet and you just rub it with your finger, you get these little goopy things. I call them glue boogers. My grandkids laugh at me. Glue boogers. And then if there's any leftover sticky, which there usually is, it's easy to get it off with your little eraser, your glue eraser. It actually takes other stuff off too, but we're gonna call it this. Now I'm gonna glue the very bottom with just a little bit of glue. We're gonna glue that up, hold it, kind of rub it. And we'll hold it in place. Now the next thing we're gonna do, after we make sure it's like it needs to be, we'll go ahead and ink. And we only have to ink this back side because this is the side that we will decorate and put, we could put some ribbon or whatever on there. should have left my trims out from yesterday. Let me grab them. I have some trims I was working with yesterday. And let's see if I can happen to find them after just sticking them back in here. Well, here was one of them. I was liking this fabric here. Let's see if it will. I thought it might be pretty down the front, but it's not quite long enough. So we can get a different piece of it though. Let me find the rest of it. That's the hard part. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Nope, that's pumpkins. But I'll find it. The problem is I'm real bad about not putting things back where I get them. Do any of you do that? This came from Ooh La La Crafts. Let's see if I have enough left. I thought instead of lace, it would look prettier with fabric on here. But before I glue it on, I want to tear it here at the end. This is hard to tear. I was trying to tear it yesterday and I was like, oh my goodness, that's hard to tear. You have to get it just right. So I'm just going to cut it because one of the ends have to be cut anyway on this. If I can get it straight now. Let's get it straight before we cut it. You don't want a disaster. For some reason, it must not be on here or cut pulled the right way, because usually there's one direction on the fabric. But you can do it and it's fine. We'll see what happens. Okay, so let's put this back on here, and we'll wrap the one that was too short back on here for something else. Put it in its bag so you don't lose things. Okay, now we want to hole punch. It's not hole punch. We want to put a big circle there. Circle punch. Now, sometimes I like to use scraps when I do this because I'm trying to find some scraps. I don't know what I did with my scraps, of course. Hold on. There's always scraps around here. So I'm going to put a piece of paper behind this because it's thinner. The paper is thinner, and if you use a piece of harder, heavier cardstock or something behind it, it will cut your circle out better. Or your half moon or whatever it is you're doing. If you can get it to cooperate. See, there we go. Now we could throw these little things away. And I'm not making it huge. It doesn't have to be huge. We're going to put it up here on this flat side. And I'm going to glue it down the center. Kind of like a design. And we may add some lace right down the middle. But let's go ahead and I'm going to glue it straight down, and then we'll come back. We'll pass back by it and add some glue to the top. I hope this is where it needs to be now that I've put it there. Yeah, now it's going to come through. Your fabric's going to be wet, so beware. We should be able to trim the back of that. It's never easy trimming a circle. Let's just go ahead and trim it straight across here since it's hanging over a little bit. I just don't want to lose our shape of our half moon. Almost half moon, maybe a quarter moon. I didn't get it quite as big as I wanted it, but that's good enough, right? All right, so we can add on here whatever we want, and in here whatever we want. Probably we will do a like a journaling page inside there. What do we want to put on here? Let me see if I've got anything on this pile of ribbon. Nope. Let's see what else I've got. Let me keep going. I said I was going to clean this mess out. Have I cleaned it out yet? No. Stuff just piled over there. You know how you do. You start off and you have it all nice and clean, and then you're like, wham. And then it's not so clean. I like this beigey color, which I like this beigey color too. So let's decide on one of those. This one's not really wide enough, but if we use it, we can use it on each side, which will look pretty, don't you think? Like that. Or we could put one of these down the middle. I think I like the one down the middle. It just looks, it looks better. Even though it's flat on one side, it still looks better. Okay, so we're going to do the same sort of thing. Let's cut it off first. Trying to see which side is which. Here we go. See how much time we've got. We're running low on time. It doesn't take long to run out of time. So we'll do a second video if we need to. Okay. It's not because I want it to run slow. Trust me. Okay. Let's go like this right around the neck again. That way we know it's going to catch the neck. I've got glue everywhere, but it's all right. It's a nice thing. You can wipe the glue off. For some reason, it wants to kind of go to one side. I'm going to make it be straight. There we go. Now, right here, a little bit of glue. Let me get this wet one here, which took care of it. Let me get my pen back in my glue. Little finicky things. So my plans for this book is just to work on it. I was going to have you guys help me decorate it, and there's 2 of them, so I don't want it to be real repetitive for you. So I figure we'll decorate this one, and then I'll decorate the other one, and it'll be a surprise. How's that? That's always fun, right? All right, and we've already inked this one. So I do want to put it right here, but I want to wait and make sure that it's still trying to make it straight, and make sure that's exactly where I want it. So, and I want to go back here, and on some of these places that we have just white space, I want to do a little bit of stenciling. Now, just so you know, I've got the wrong stencil thing. Let me get another one. I never know what color's on some of my little things. So sometimes the colors get kind of mixed. But oh well, right? I'm going to use one of these because I just think they work better. And I'm not really going for it to look like a doily necessarily. I'm just going for it to look stenciled. It doesn't have to be perfect. If it ends up looking like a doily, that's just a bonus, right? So this will be part 1. We may not finish it in part 2 because like I said, I did just get started. And, you know, you never know. I'm going to lift this up in a second so you can see. Yeah, see, they're not going to be perfect. But I am going to do it, do some stenciling on some of the pages like that. Just to take away it being so white, okay? So you can expect that. And then, you know, by the time we add, let's just add a tag here just to, we don't know if this is going to be the tag that ends up in this pocket. But you'll get the idea. Let's just put this in here for now. You'll get an idea that, it, you know, it'll end up looking really good. And then I may come down in here with some also on this page. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it went so fast. And I'll come back and do the second part right after this. And then you guys can see what happens next. All right, guys, bye-bye.